Okay then, boys. Looks like we've got another here we go. So one more outgoing we can add to the collection. Still quite a few more players we need to get out. But we are working on it. Chelsea working on it behind the scenes. Obviously the big ones, Jackson and Nkunku, still waiting for a club to snatch them up on a permanent transfer and not a loan deal. So I imagine that should come in the next couple of days. They are working hard behind the scenes on it. But you can see here, Veiga, so leaving Chelsea, joining Villarreal. And we got a good fee on this. We can't be too disgruntled with this. We bought him for about 12, 14 million not too long ago, 2 years ago. He only started one game for Chelsea, came off a few bench cameos, then he threw his hands in the air, wanted a move. We loaned him to Juventus, which definitely helped his stock, and we also got a 5 million loan fee with that as well. So if you add that onto this fee, we've almost got 35 mil for him, which is, considering we got him for 12, 14 mil, that's really good profit. And considering he only started one game, this is a transfer you can't be too unhappy with. He is a talented centre back. We were playing him sort of out of position, and he wasn't happy with that. But look, he had only just joined the club, so for him to expect to be a main starter in his favourite position was a bit out of the question. So look, no hard feelings. He's joining Villarreal. I'm sure he'll have a good season there. Probably play a season or two, and then he'll probably move to another club. And we've got that heavy sell-on clause as well. So we're not too sure what that could be. Could be 20, 30%, remains to be seen. Maybe we'll get some sort of ballpark today or tomorrow. I did see Fabrizio, he just put here, so 25 million fixed, 4.5 in add-ons, and then the sell-on clause as well. So if you factor on the 5 million we got for him playing for Juventus, for the loan fee there, and he was on low wages as well, so this is just pure money. And this is the sort of the transfers you can't be too unhappy with. Say players like Datro Fofana, we bought them. They went on loan, they didn't quite perform how we'd like to, so we're gonna probably make a loss on them. But then you look at players like Renato Viega and other players who sold as well. We're buying them for cheap. They play in a few games or they go on loan, and then we're selling them, and we're just making easy money that way. So yes, we're hoarding some players, but no one can deny how good Chelsea are at selling. Right? No, not many clubs can match us in terms of pure just selling and getting our money's worth, right? So, and then obviously, we've known this for a while now, but it's sort of just official. Jackson and Chelsea is over. There's no coming back. And with this coming out, probably means there's quite a few suitors, quite a few clubs that have come out and they are interested. So for me, I'm not worried about moving him on. I think Jackson will probably go. We might get a here we go in the next couple of days. Nkunku, I don't know what's happening with that deal. Leipzig want to get him on loan. We've said absolutely no loans because that doesn't help our position. We need money. So a loan deal does nothing for us. We need a permanent transfer because obviously with UEFA and our financing. So I believe Jackson will get a permanent deal for him soon. And look, Jackson isn't a terrible player, so we should be getting a good fee on him as well. I've 40 million minimum really. He's not a bad player, just doesn't have the greatest football IQ. But in a transition-based team, I think he'd do very well. Or even like an Everton, something like that. I think Jackson would do and perform quite well. But in a possession-based team like Chelsea, he just doesn't have the football like IQ, game knowledge. He just can't hack it at the top level. And his finishing, like I said, he's misprofiled for me. He's not a striker. I'd see him more as a winger or even a shadow striker playing a two-man. His shooting technique isn't good enough, but he can do everything else really. But his composure, final third, shooting just isn't up to scratch. Not in terms for a top-level striker. So look, it's unfortunate. We had some good moments. I'll always remember his hat-trick against Spurs, but the saga's done. Jackson's leaving Chelsea. But we knew that already, but it's sort of just official. Look, it's done. And we've got a few more outgoings potentially as well. So Tasasi, this is a player we've needed to move on now for a while. Performed quite poorly at Villa when he went on loan there. He was playing a bit like an inverted fullback on the right. He's just too slow. He doesn't have the athleticism to play that position. He could probably do quite well in a central sort of free centre back team, but not for me. He's too slow. He's like a Maguire, and that's probably being harsh on Maguire as well because he's not terrible. I just don't rate Disasi at all. I think it was a silly signing, and we paid quite a bit of money for him as well. So, look, we're not going to be making a profit on him. So Bournemouth could get him on loan, potentially loan, and then obligation. That remains to be seen. I think we could still demand like a 20 million, 25 million fee for him. I wouldn't be letting him go for peanuts. But if we can get loan, and then at the end of the loan you pay 20 mil, I don't think that's a bad deal all in all. Gets him off the books. And that's just another player we've moved on, right? And then a few updates we've got as well. So, look, Nkunku and Chukwuemeka, we want permanent deals, not loans. And this is the same for Xavi Simons as well. So we're still waiting for Nkunku to leave Chelsea. So these deals are essentially done. Garnacho and Nkunku, they are done. So I wouldn't panic. I wouldn't worry too much. These deals are done. You can see with Xavi, other teams have approached him. He only wants Chelsea. It's the same for Garnacho. They just want to join Chelsea. So we've probably got some sort of like gentleman's agreement there, with a gentleman's handshake. So look, other clubs have come in. They're not entertaining the idea of going to other clubs. They want to join Chelsea. It's all pretty much done, 99% done. The only problem is we can't actually confirm these signings because you can see here, right? So look, everyone knows we got fined for breaching the spending rules, and if we don't rectify this and get even, we could obviously get extra fines. And then I've just seen now, so Chelsea have got a 40% sell-on clause for Veiga, so even better. I thought 30%. 40% that's really, really good, because in my opinion in a year or two he'd probably leave. So look, that's going to be another 10, 20 million, who knows how much more. So 40% is really big. So we just got that news coming in now. So that's really positive. It's only going to help us going forward as well, right? So what this means, right? Impact for this season. They can only register new signings for the Champions League if player sales or savings fully cover the total cost, fee plus wages. This net spend rules applies to UEFA List A squad, not the Premier League. So, for Premier League reasons, say we didn't have any Champions League, I'm sure Xavi Simons and Garnacho, these deals would have been done. But obviously we're in the Champions League now, right? We want our new signings to actually play for us, otherwise what's the point in signing them? So that's why, theoretically, we could just, let in Xavi Simons and Garnacho. But if we don't get Nkunku and, say Chukwuemeka and Jackson out of the club on permanent, we can't register them. So they just be sat at the club. They can play in the Prem, but what good is that? We want to do the Champions League proper. So that's why there's such a big hold up, is because we do need to sell, just so our books are balanced. Otherwise, look, we're at risk of getting either another fine and or we can't register them. So there's no point, right? So what that means for Xavi Simons and Garnacho, look, it's done. Been done for a while now. We just need, once these players move, we get the here we goes and they leave, they'll come in. So I'm not too worried. It's been a bit annoying to cover and obviously keep on top of, because it's just the same news being regurgitated every single day, especially with the Garnacho one. Look, he only wants Chelsea. Well, look, I don't think many clubs are really after Garnacho, not for 50 million anyway. So, no. Karma. These deals will get done. And then we can also just see how much money we've made as well. Look, there's not many clubs that are better at selling than Chelsea. The Madueke one was filthy. I don't know why Arsenal have given us 50 million for him. I don't rate him at all. No, he's terrible. João Felix as well, great fee, 26 guaranteed, and then with the add-ons. And he was on really big wages. That's just a transfer strategy we just got completely wrong. I don't know who was in charge or who pushed for João Felix, but when we signed him, on loan, I didn't mind it. But the permanent deal brought so much into question. It wasn't a smart, astute signing like some of the signings we have done. So for me, like another poor signing. Dewsbury Hall, it was essentially, we sold Gallagher, then we brought Dewsbury Hall in. Similar sort of players, really. You know, box to box, work rate kind of players. Uh, you know, jack of all trades, master of none. You know, so Dewsbury Hall, he wasn't bad. He was only ever going to be a squad player. So to get 30 million, it's not too bad. Ugachukwu, 25 million. I think that's great. Look, he went on loan, didn't do too well. So to get 25 mil for him is great. And there's a player there as well. He just needs to play regularly, which he can't get at Chelsea. Petrovic, 25 million is good as well. A lot of people were sort of hyping him up quite a lot at Strasbourg because he did have a good season, but I think people are getting too ahead of themselves. For me, he's an okay goalkeeper. He's definitely not world class potential or anything like that, and I think you'll see that this season as well. I mean, it's too harsh because they played Liverpool, but look, for some of those goals, he should have been doing better, and I think you're going to see that this season as well. For me, he's just an okay keeper. 6 out of 10. So to get 25 mil, I think that's not too bad as well. That's profit. Veiga, look, that's a great one. And with the 40% sell-on clause, that's just more money coming in. So we can't complain with that at all. Broja for 20 million. That was a player we needed to get rid of for probably about 2 years ago now. We could have sold him for more if we sold him when his stock was really high. But injuries did, you know, kind of screw him up. So he was a bit unfortunate in that respect. You know, I did like him about 3 years ago, but, you know, not anymore. And then we just got some academy boys here. With more profit. So, who are some other players that we need to move on? So Veiga has just gone. Disasi, we need to move on. Looks like Disasi will probably be a loan deal, obligation to buy perhaps. Ben Chilwell, this is another player we're struggling to move on, not really finding any club suitable for him. If I'm being honest, he's probably championship quality, but with the wages he's on, I think he'll just sit at Chelsea. I don't think a team in the Prem will take him on loan. He's not good enough. So Ben Chilwell's an unfortunate one. I don't think we're going to be able to move him on this season. Let's have a look. So Chukwuemeka as well. Dortmund keep wanting to try and get him on loan again. We're saying permanent deal, so you know, put your money up. I think that'll get done eventually. Maybe we have to drop our price for him, but I think Chukwuemeka will be permanent to Dortmund. I don't think we'll let that go. Tyreek George, for me, I would probably sell. I don't think he's quite Chelsea quality, especially when we bring in Xavi Simons and Garnacho. You know, these players play in his position. For me, Tyreek George just isn't quite good enough. It might be a bit harsh, but from what I've seen, he's not one of the most talented academy players we've got. So it's pure profit. I'd move him on. And there's clubs who are interested in him as well. Sterling's another one we need to get rid of. You know, perhaps it's looking like Eze will probably go to Arsenal now with Kai Havertz's injury. So, you know, Sterling's definitely not going on loan there again. He performed poorly. So Sterling for me is probably going out on loan again. I don't think a club will get him on a permanent, but it would be great if we did. And then obviously the obvious ones are Jackson, Nkunku, and Datro Fofana. These are like the last sort of 3 players we really do need to move on. The main ones being Jackson and Nkunku, because that's where most of the value is at. Datro Fofana, we could only probably sell him for about 10 million, so it's not a massive deal, right? But for Nkunku, we're looking at about 40 million, and it's probably the same for Jackson as well. So these are the deals we need to prioritise, and it looks like Chelsea are doing that behind the scenes as well. And then just sort of the last sort of roundup for today. Tossin's back in training. Now, I don't think Tossin will start against West Ham, but it's good to have him back on the bench. Same with Fofana. We need centre-backs. But we've got Maresca's press conference tomorrow at 11. So I'll see what he has to say there. I'll do a video just covering any news or anything he comes out with. If he's still adamant he wants a centre-back, we'll see what he says. And then later in the day, so I'll probably do a double upload tomorrow, I'll go over the preview for West Ham versus Chelsea, because we're the first game for the second game week. We're playing it on Friday, 8 o'clock, so it's a game we should be winning. I'd be really disappointed if we drop points, so I'll do a little rundown of the team I think we'll go with. It'll be pretty much the same team that played against Brighton, but for me, Esteval will start. But I'll cover that more in a video, more in depth. But that's sort of the news for today. Veiga's permanent. Hopefully tomorrow we get a Jackson, here we go. The day after that we get an Nkunku, here we go. And then we can start bringing in the last couple incomings for our team. So I'll see you boys tomorrow. 2 videos tomorrow probably. I think we'll get quite a lot of news. It'll be an eventful day. So yeah, I'll see you boys tomorrow. Cheers.